Hello everyone and welcome to the Cornerstone SMP server. I'm here with Hicks and we built this flower farm and it actually does pretty good. A little bit different from the normal ones you see, like the shaking floor, earthquake style ones, but this one actually came out pretty good. What do you think, Hicks?
I agree. I think it's for the scale of it, it's probably more efficient. So yeah, I'm all in favor for it.
Yeah, those other ones are good for small areas and you definitely get a lot more flowers, but this one, if you're scrubbing a large area, it's definitely better. But we're missing two flowers, the yellow one and the blue one. So I think we need to do another one in an area that's a little bit better.
Yeah, we got it marked right behind us. You can kind of see the dirt right above my head where it's going to start.
And I will place my camera right where he's talking. So yeah, let's go and get that area at least flattened out and get to it.
Yeah, for sure.
I am absolutely 100% excited for this joint venture. So let me explain a little bit further. So me and Mr. Hicks are going in on this. And basically what's happening is he's going to sell the flowers in one of his shops and I'm going to sell the dyes. So I think I'm not going to make a new shop, but I'll probably just put it into my wool shop as kind of something that you can buy. So for right now, I'm going to try to get as many of the colors we can get out of these flowers. And obviously in this area, we need to do something like a squid farm for the black. And hopefully we can get all the colors together enough to both, get as many flowers and dyes in our shops as possible. So yeah, we're doing a joint venture on this. I actually started out with this flying machine and this whole entire area is going to be transformed into kind of an industrial area around that area. So you can kind of see off the left-hand side, I don't want to give away too much, that we're going to get a lot of farms. So we were running this flying machine and it eats bone meal like no tomorrow. So I think the name of the game at this point is going to be how can we create bone meal. So you can kind of see a little peek there that we've got a cactus farm going on and there's a lot of stuff in this area that is going to be kind of based around here. I'm actually kind of thinking about making a base over here too because it's going to be an absolutely amazing area. I can't wait. So since we're missing on the first pad the blue and yellow flowers, I actually put the local version of the seed that our server is on and ran this tool, and it's actually really, really cool looking, and I'll show you a time lapse of that. But yeah, basically you can kind of see these blue flowers here. I mapped out so that if we run the machine this way, we'll get the blue flowers that we're missing and the yellow ones over here. And if you kind of look this way, the very, very first one that we built is actually running this way. So I thought this was a really cool tool. I mean, it completely destroys a world, and if you're on a server, you actually need to load in a seed of it, but it looks cool. I like the way that this actually gets mapped out. And the other cool thing about this is that if we go look underneath, we can see how this thing originally was. Yeah, so we kind of flattened this one out for the first pad. I think the portal is sitting probably right here. So this is kind of where the main base house is. And then the other pad is kind of running this direction. Yeah, so it's kind of cool to kind of go back and look at this after I've done a lot of stuff on it to see how much we've actually changed. All right, so we built these two other platforms, mainly for the blue flowers, which you can kind of see there, and this other platform down there for the yellow flowers. And yeah, so we got 3 of these platforms, and I can't look too much because I don't want to give spoilers away, but the other platform is in the upper left-hand corner there. Behind me, we got some other stuff going that I don't want to spoil yet. But yeah, let's take a look at this platform and say hello to Alex. Yeah, so I've never done the flying contraption, but these are actually fairly simple to set up. And the idea is that you got pistons going in opposite directions, and this thing just moves along. When it gets to the other side, this observer detects it and flaps down, and then sends the flying contraption the other direction. And then the glass just kind of pushes everything along. And if we go to look at this other side, kind of just dumps it into this water stream and then goes up. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but goes up that tube and gets dumped into a storage system. Yeah, and stuff like the seeds we're actually bone milling because this thing eats quite a bit. And let's see if I can get down here. So you can see we have 6 dispensers. So I actually originally had 2 side by side. We'll get into a clip on that in a second, but yeah. And then observers double bounce. So I actually had to do this contraption, and I'll show you that in detail also. All right, so let's take a look at the spacing of dispensers. So we got 2 platforms here to work with, and this one here, I've got a spacing of 6 in between the dispensers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the one down there is actually 8. So let's take a look at the actual distribution of the bone milled flowers. So you can see here on the 6, there's clearly 2 spots here that were not bone milled. There's clearly 2 spots there. So spacing of 6 isn't too bad, but let's take a look at 8. So you can clearly see there's probably 1, 2, 3. I mean, there is that one, but there's definitely 3 there that didn't have anything on it. This one's 1, 2. It kind of looks like if you space them 8 apart, you get a bunch of gaps where bone meal doesn't happen. Whereas opposed to if you place some 6 apart, you get a little bit better distribution. So I don't know. It's up to you on what your spacing wants to do. You could actually do them closer. And the funny thing is we had these things running. So right now this dispenser is center, and I say use center lightly. This is 10 across, so this is actually off to one side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 off one side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of the other side. And what it could actually tell is you can see it does bone meal on this side that's closest. And every once in a while you get a straggler. From what I read on the wiki, they say that bone meal can actually go up to 7 blocks away, but the distribution on the outside is really low. So the further and further away from the dispenser it gets, the lower the chance that it actually gets bone milled. All right, so the first platform that we actually did, we ran 2 dispensers in the middle as opposed to the test that we just did where it was just 1 in the middle. So this one, you can see, is 1, 2, 3 away from the edges on both sides. And then just 2 off in the middle here. So let's take a look at that distribution. Now, obviously, it's a lot fuller in the middle. Along the sides, it's probably a little bit more fuller than going down the middle, obviously. All right, so there is one problem with the observer observing the flying machine, and here we come. It's going to be a little bit noisy, but take a look at this line. See how it double pulses? So I came up with this mechanism to prevent these dispensers from bone milling out too much, double every time it goes by. And I actually found a better way of doing this, but this is what I came up with in my mind anyway, so it's kind of a cool circuit. So basically you get one pulse that pushes the piston out, that moves the block. And then the second pulse happens and the piston goes, but it basically just holds the line open. Then you got a delay here that pushes the redstone block back. I thought this was pretty clever, but there's a so much simpler way of doing it. So let's take a look at this one more time on the side. So the observer double bounces. You saw that the piston went twice, and then after the delay on the backside, this gets pushed back. So I thought that was pretty good. But let's go take a look at the simpler version. All right, and the simpler version is definitely simpler. I actually had no idea that this type of locking mechanism actually existed on the repeater. So here it comes, take a look. So you'll see the double bounce here and then this locks. And it happens so quick, it was really hard to see. So basically we get a double pulse from here. This goes through normally, and then on a 2-tick delay, I think single players may need a 4-tick just be quick, because it wasn't working on here. But if we just do a 2 pulse, this mechanism actually works, and it's quite interesting. So when it comes back, let's take a look at it again, and maybe I'll actually slow down in video so we can actually see what's going on here. All right, and one last thing to show you here, and that's basically the mechanism to stop it. So normally you'd flip this switch, but we have 3 contraptions here. Basically, there's just a line that goes into our base. And I'll get over here, and you can see that there's a line down here. And what this does is goes up to here, and then if we go inside, we have a mechanism here in order to shut it on and off. So basically you can see that that contraption's not running and those aren't running. So if we flip the switch, that one gets sent off. That one gets sent off, and that one gets sent off. So yeah, we have an easy way of actually turning it on and off.
Okay, guys, so we're here with Paly. I know it's a little change of plans. We were just in the shopping district as the server ended to restart. But we're going to check out this tunnel. I mean, this was originally the end right here where this lantern's at, and he's just done a ton of work and added a whole nother 100 blocks, which you guys might think is not a lot of work, but it's a ton of work. Man, these tunnels take a lot, right?
Oh,
right,
the quartz. I ran out of quartz 3 times just to do this 100 blocks. I underestimated the amount that's in it. And it's mostly these pillars.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And especially if you don't have like 20 masons, it's an even bigger pain.
Yeah.
But we've been gradually, I shouldn't say we, he spent like probably a good hour getting these animals into the nether. And this was the original tunnel right here, and there's just a ton of them. Right? I mean, there was. I can't see them right now, but
deaths happened.
Yeah, we do have another donkey now. I'll probably take a couple of these horses back to the stable that I just keep putting off. But eventually it'll be done. Ooh, and then there's a chicken right there. Either way, we're gonna go check out this portal, or we're gonna go through the portal and check out the flower farm. And I think it's called Biomes Are Us base, right?
Let's see. What did I name this thing? And we can totally change the name. Biomes Are Us Industrial Flower Area. I forget what I put on this thing.
Yeah, no, you put it in BRU Industrial Flower Farm Area.
There we go.
So we're checking it out, right? So let's go through it.
All right.
Okay, so the house hasn't changed drastically. Let's see. Everything's the same here, it seems like. So for you guys to know, we did this last. We have like a huge cactus farm to create bone meal for us. And I don't think we've seen any of this. This is totally new. The last time you saw this, it was just the top pad with a couple chests. So this is like the headquarters for this base right now. But Paly has been doing a lot. I'm just barely looking through the window. I can see it. Let's see this. Oh yeah, see, he's been just going ham on it. So this greenhouse was not here. And that's the idea. We're going to do the greenhouse over both pads. And we've been mapping out kind of the plan for this little tunnel right here. But yeah, man, it's gorgeous out here. Great job. And I didn't know you could put the nether stuff on grass.
Right. I saw Fwip do that in one of his worlds. He likes this blue one.
Yeah.
But I realized that the red and the blue is such a good color out here to mix with the flowers. And I would normally remove every single flower in my landscaping, but it just felt correct here.
It's right. Yeah, it's the flower biome. We got to have them.
Yeah, and it's totally overdone. I would never do this in my life, but it's, I don't know. I just kind of been sitting here staring at this, and I'm going to sleep real quick.
Yeah, to get the sunlight back. But so our goal here is to, I think he talked about, he wants to have like flower farms or like flower pastures almost. And then we want to build houses over on these hills over here. But that's the plan. This place has gotten, like, we put literally probably around 20 hours, I think, at this point. Maybe even more than that between the two of us, just getting it up and running and situated. Paly did all the redstone for the what you call it? The pads. And then, oh, it's not working. Darn. I'm stuck. Yeah, so he did all the redstone there. I think I just messed it up. Let's see, did I? Okay, I didn't. Yeah, I broke redstone. I was worried. Yeah, no, so just an insane amount of work has been going on here. And, man, it's just glorious looking. That's what I think. I think the plan for me is I want to get this roof done on our main headquarters, I guess. And then probably help him out on these greenhouses. But look at these. These turned out beautiful. At least, yeah, the first one did.
Yeah, I'm having fun with that. And I think all of the greenhouses I want to be a little bit different. They don't all need to be same. And for the most part, I just didn't want them to be all glass. That was way too much glass. And I found kind of this shape of a greenhouse where it kind of has the light come through the top, but still, function as an actual greenhouse. And I love it.
I suck. I just broke the glass with my fortune pick instead of my silk touch pick.
And I don't have any in my pocket, but no worries.
Yeah, rookie mistake. But yeah, man, look at this. I love the torch or the lanterns in here hanging from the stones. What are they called? Grinders? Stone grinders? I forget.
Grindstones. Yeah, that's another Fwip special.
I've seen B-dubs do it. I mean, I think B-dubs use hoppers most of the time.
Oh, hopper. Oh, yeah. That's so you get the point, so the kind of like the point hangs off or the chain hangs off the point of the hopper. I love it.
Yeah, it just kind of looks classic. Looks like it's meant to be held. But the plans here, too, is we're going to build a big tunnel archway going through this like it's supporting it underneath this natural valley that's here. And then he's talked about running a ravine/river through here. Kind of getting the same shape from the part of my mountain, or the same feel, right? That atmosphere feel where you're walking through it and it's like alive.
Yeah. So if you're at the
almost
bottom,
eerie.
Yeah. So if you're at the bottom of it, I want it to be really grand. So if we kind of go over here, there is a river on this side, and that's where I want it to run through. And maybe there's a waterfall at one point, so it's not all down at that level. And it makes, I think, absolutely no sense that you would put this flower farm on top of a ravine like this, but I think this is going to look cool.
Yeah, it will look really, really cool. And I honestly don't think if we made this, if it was that deep, right? If it was even deeper than this, where this was where a waterfall was at.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be so deep. So our plan here is to make a squid farm since it's a small river, and we could fill up majority of this pretty quickly, I think, and make a pretty efficient squid farm.
Yeah, so we do have this river, and we have another one on the other side, so we'll have to debate on which one is going to be aesthetic. This is kind of behind the farm, so it actually might work out pretty good. But at least, you know, this ravine I want to be the aesthetic part. So
yeah, no, I mean, this whole place is so freaking cool looking right now, in my opinion. Also, what we built, I built a super smelter, which is just for, I mean, practically the cactus, right? Oh no, we got some redstone here. What did you? Oh, the water.
The water
See,
broke.
The water did make it all the way over here. What a
Actually, I will
butthead.
pick this stuff up at least.
Okay, so there's more, maybe. Okay, man, it made it all the way down this. What a shame. How much did you get? So
one
we do
repeater
have
and 6.
a horse. Man, you went through and totally remapped this waterway too. Yeah, so the waterway as well was like running right here. And he moved that over.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
for
love
what you
this,
were
though.
talking about is the waterway that was coming from this first pad was kind of at the roof line.
Yeah.
And we still wanted to keep it kind of a part of it, so I actually brought it down to ground level, and probably in the next episode I want to put some supports underneath it, which
Like,
is kind
yeah,
of
like another arch too. That would look so great.
yeah, so that's kind of why I started with the wood as maybe a little bit of a support, but yeah, I wanted to get the rest of this area at least done, and we'll work more on the kind of the aesthetic part, but we wanted to keep kind of the parts as part of it, and I think that looks cool.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like an irrigation canal for the actual greenhouse.
No, for sure. It looks like, yeah, no, exactly. The swamp coolers. Do we have an ender portal or an ender chest here yet?
No, I never got one over here.
Darn it. I had it in my inventory. Do you have all the redstone then?
Yeah, I got the redstone from down below at least.
Yeah, let's put it back on. I want to turn this thing on and show them just how many items come in here. Or is it loaded, I guess? Or are we ready for it?
There's bone meal if you want to grab that. There's probably like two rows at least.
Even let's hope we can fill it up. Man, I got all these poppies. Yeah, this thing just, it takes an insane amount of bone meal to operate.
Yeah, and I went over that in my video. I actually put it down to a single dispenser per row.
Oh yeah,
Kind of go over
Yeah,
like
'cause I think
this distribution of how that it actually affects it. The 2 rows way better.
I can understand. Singles just makes more sense, I think, practically speaking.
Yeah, it doesn't get the edges as much. But yeah, so these things are ready to go. The master switch is off right now.
Okay, I got all the bone meal. Now, I love this greenhouse. It turned out so good looking. And did you terraform around it too, right here?
Oh yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to go
Oh,
over.
you terraformed quite a bit actually, because you can't see anything underneath.
Yeah, so if we go underneath, you'll actually see the wall of what I terraformed. So at one point, yeah, right here is all natural. But off the edges is, you know, you can kind of see this huge caverns all terraformed on that side. And I kind of basically just wrapped this side towards the ravine enough so that at least the screenshot would look good.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, good thumbnail. I think we have enough. No, I'm going to go light. I'm putting 2 in each one. Yeah, single rows definitely just the way to do it, I think.
Yeah, so what I found is that you typically lose, because this is an even number, the dispensers aren't exactly center. On one side, you lose about 1 row. On the other one, it's about 2, but you get the occasional grass that actually grows.
Oh, so we got the 2-layer up here, though. Oh, man, this is... Are we out of bone meal on both?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so for the top portion, I kind of left it 2 rows just, you know, so I could do the explanation, but I don't know. The biggest problem we have right now is the bone meal. And although we have a pretty big cactus farm, it doesn't keep up. So we definitely need to find better ways, or, you know, bigger ways of actually doing the bone meal.
For sure, yeah.
Then
That's
the
a limiting
time
factor.
Yeah, and the time that I actually built this greenhouse over here and kind of terraformed, we got about 2 rows in that double chest, which is nowhere near enough.
It's too slow.
Yep.
But I mean, we do have like every flower variant to sustain us right now, at least.
Right, and most of them are overflowing, so those get put into the system as bone meal.
Yeah, I love this. This is so great. Okay, guys, so you can see right now the poppies coming up right behind Paly. Those are from our just general restock chest, I guess, if we need to get them into the system. So I brought those from my iron farm originally, but we're going to turn this bad boy on to witness its beauty. So we restocked all the bone meal. You can see it starts, and I mean, the best part, I don't even, like, I like looking at these pads, but my favorite thing is watching these aqueducts that carry everything over to the main system. Let's get up here. See if we can get up there too. Like the intersection is what the crazy part is. So this one isn't fully stocked with bone meal. I only filled up a couple of them. And Paly was saying before this, the limiting factor for us is the bone meal. It's the biggest issue we have with getting this thing operating 100%. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it all coming right now. Holy cow.
Yeah, so you got the flowers from all 3 pads. You got the cactus farm. And then bone meal, as the cactus gets bone mealed, gets recirculated in and comes back around and then goes into the storage system.
Yeah, you can see it right there. Yeah, it's insane. There's a lot going on. We ran it too. We probably filled this sucker up with, man, I don't know, 5-6 double chests of bone meal. Do you think maybe less? I might be exaggerating, but it feels like that much.
It was an entire season up to this point of my net worth of bone meal.
Yeah, same. Yeah, this is bananas though. You can see each composter slowly gets filled, and as every pad gets filled with bone meal entirely, it does overrun it to where we do need all 5 of these harvest or composters at a time. But it's pretty great, man. I'm so happy with this project, and me and Paly we're both kind of talking about how it's bringing more inspiration to wanting to play and build over here a lot more. And I can't wait to see, like, this is like definitely second base, second headquarters for me, and probably him as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going to build a house. Because as you were stating kind of about where Hicks is, those hills kind of over in that area, I think would warrant... Because I don't know if we've gone down here. The view from down here is just spectacular. And the more, big stuff we get up on the mountain there, and all the greenhouses, filling in, it's going to look spectacular. So think about where Hicks is. I put a dirt pole.
Yep.
Right there. And I think that would make a really good house. And if you can imagine this ravine, depending on how big it is, maybe there's a lake up here that feeds the ravine. Yeah, I just don't know yet. I don't know how this is going to kind of form out, but it's going to look absolutely... Well, it already looks so amazing, cool. But...
Yeah, especially you putting the flowers up there too. As we add more flowers along the mountain, it's going to look great.
Yeah, and just to rehash what you were saying earlier, so... And I don't know where. Maybe the side of these hills... I kind of want to flatten out some areas. Well, not completely flat, but I want to pick like a hill and put one particular color flower and kind of terrace it down as if, they're doing a farm of one specific flower and, a bunch of different like levels, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think of like the vineyards in California.
Yeah.
Right, so, like that look when you're driving through the wine country or whatever, and you see them all on the hills and stuff. It's gorgeous. We could do that with all the different flower variants.
Yeah, and we definitely have a lot of flower variants.
Yeah. Oh, look at them. They just spawned in right in front of us.
Those guys have been bothering me the entire time I've been here.
Dude, they spawn all the time. So this also has turned into my sand farm as well. Over here is a pillager outpost and a desert, and I've just been mining the sand over here to fill all my needs. And which is, great, because I don't know if there's a sand or mining desert set up to the hub at all, but maybe we can make a pillager outpost farm eventually too. Who knows?
Yeah, we got a witch hut over here, the pillager, yeah.
That's the thing with industrial districts. So I want them to be like still decorative and cool looking. I don't want them to just be a bunch of random farms. And that's what I think we've accomplished with this farm all the way. It just looks so nice. Oh, so I see you've been... So is this the pathway you want eventually to run along this?
I was kind of just messing around the idea if I had a path along the top of this gargantuan ravine and you kind of get to look down. And I don't know if you've been hiking on some like really narrow trails that'll just kind of hang off the side of the mountain. That just feels so good.
Yeah, it is a great feeling.
Yeah. So I thought that would be kind of a cool look if we can kind of terraform like this hill right here up to the pad. And then this archway fills out this kind of area, you know, with rock and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a cool look. It's going to be totally pointless, and I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you guys have enjoyed this, always leave a like, subscribe. Paly puts in a lot more work than I do in his editing and making sure it's more professional, and his growth in the last like 8 months has been, I don't even know, 8 months, like maybe shorter, 4 months. I don't know how long you've been on here.
I've only been at it for 5 months. Let's see, 4 months on this server. So
yeah, like five or 4 months. Either way, it's been great. He's passing me up. He's going to pass up everyone, I think.
Thank you.
Which is great. But I appreciate it. Thanks for your eyes. Thanks for your views. If you've enjoyed, subscribe as always. Peace out. Bye.
Have a good one.